Get this from Mediaite. Ben Shapiro takes torch to his own colleague's weird idea that conservatives must unify with far right.
Coming up on today's Ben Shapiro Show, President Trump honors Charlie Kirk with a posthumous Medal of Presidential Freedom. Plus, we get to a supposed blockbuster Politico story about groyperism, white supremacy, ugly stuff inside young Republican chats. What does that mean? And what is the duty of conservatives to, quote unquote, unify with such stuff? We'll get to all of it. First, October is packed with new releases.
All right, anyway, so Matt Walsh was like, we got to put aside our differences and come together to defeat the left because the left is evil. And Ben Shapiro was like, actually, gang, we don't have to do that. And we shouldn't do that because they're weird and they don't like Israel. And so that's basically the debate. Which side are you guys on?
Whichever side gets more Tim Pool impersonating Ben Shapiro. That's the side I'm on.
Can you do more of that? I want to hear more arguments.
More argument from Ben? No, that was the argument. You know what you get. And now we're going to have a serious discussion over who's correct. Matt Walsh, join the Groypers, or Ben Shapiro, no Groypers. Are they even Groypers?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they were Groypers.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if they were talking about Groypers, but I'm going to tend to agree with Matt Walsh on things, if I'm honest. Now, that's maybe not the best way to approach something like this because I haven't heard both arguments, but just generally I'm more aligned with
I agree, and not for any of the substantive reasons. It's just because in my mind, I can imagine Walsh screaming Deus Vult at Ben Shapiro.
Look, all Zoomers are Nazis on some level.
I said it the other day.
In that they're not Nazis, and they are.
Zoomerwaffen. I said it the other day.
They grew up on the internet. Why is anyone surprised that they talk like this in polite company? You know.
When
I will say I err with Matt Walsh. That's where I side with it. It's because I have a family group chat. It's my wife and all of my kids, and my wife actually had to get kicked out of the group chat because of things that my kids say. She's like, I just don't want to hear these things from my children. Where do they get this from? And I'm like, I just said it.
I just want to make a point real quick before we even read this. This is really important for you, actually, because there was a time when you and everyone else who was caught up with all the nonsense of January 6th would have been considered too extreme for other people on the right to advocate for. So who's deciding who's too far right for us to stick with?
You have to go
and the left always sticks with the far left no matter what.
No, that's not true. You have to go.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. They excommunicate people all the time. Look at what they're doing to.
They'll excommunicate
look what they're doing to Fetterman right now.
Far left enough. They excommunicate people for not being far left enough.
Yeah, that's true. It is always the more moderate people that get booted, but it doesn't mean that they always stick together. They do boot people. And then it depends on who and what, who they're talking about and what was said.
Yeah.
I don't think there was anything in the group chat that I've seen, just talking about what I've seen. There's nothing in there that I've seen that struck me as anything other than dudes just shit posting, right? That's what it seemed like, all the stuff that I've seen. And I'm perfectly fine with jokes. I don't care.
Let me read. Matt Walsh says, the right doesn't stick together. That's our biggest problem by far. Conservatives are quick to denounce each other, jump on dog piles, disavow, attack their allies. I said a few weeks ago that we all need to band together in the wake of Charlie's death, and the answer I got back from a lot of people on the right was basically no. Well, okay then, guys, we'll just lose instead. The left will keep up the unified front and defend their guys no matter what, while we keep throwing each other to the wolves at every opportunity. Great plan. I want to stress this as the point you guys are just making. Matt Walsh is not saying to join neo-Nazis. He's saying the guys that were making these posts are not. They were just they're trying to be edgy in a group chat. Yeah. And by all means, you can argue, maybe a little inappropriate, but not meant for public eyes. It was what's the political equivalent of locker room talk? Basically that.
Shit posting, what Phil said.
And so I have no problem saying in certain circumstances, if someone said something racist or disparaging, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's terrible. Next question, right? You know what I mean? When the left goes online and they publicly advocate for my murder, they get celebrated. Yeah. And I don't see AOC coming out and being like, everybody on Blue Sky needs to chill out. The funny thing is, the left's version of this is publicly available for everyone to go watch, and they never denounce it. And the one time the right has something not even nearly as offensive what the left does on Blue Sky, it's the apocalypse to these people and to conservatives. So silly.
Agree.
I'm with Matt Walsh on this one.
Yeah.
Did Gavin Wax ever deny the allegation that he leaked it, or is he just complaining about being canceled?
Is that what everybody's basically saying he did it?
I don't think he's denied it, which is telling.
I'm curious.
And if it's true that he was the one who leaked it to Politico,
His
that
career's
appears
cooked.
to be just over personal beefs within the YRs, not because he saw this group chat and was like clutching his pearls, like gasping in scandal. He probably talks like the exact same way in his group chats.
Well,
Well,
people are claiming.
Across the
Some
board of,
people,
like,
some people are
basically
claiming
all
that Gavin.
young right-wing
Yes.
men, like under
And
30.
this is important. There's people claiming that Gavin Wax didn't leak it.
Okay.
It's a false story pushed by Politico to create division within the
Interesting.
young Republicans.
Okay. Well, then who the hell did it?
Well, we don't know, but so I have seen people post like, "Hey, Gavin did not do this," and my response is, "Okay, well, I need proof that he did. If you want me to condemn somebody,
Sure.
I will tell you this outright. You want me to condemn somebody? Disloyalty, done. 2
That's
seconds.
right.
No,
Amen.
no, don't care.
Amen.
I have more of a problem with the person that leaked it than with any of the jokes that were made in the chat.
Yeah, whoever leaked it needs to be excommunicated. And Matt is right that
I will.
people on the right are just allergic to taking their own side.
Whoever leaked it, I will give a ride. They can ride shotgun in my Cybertruck to the latest DSA meeting where they can join their new faction of leftist.
Losers.
Well, Matt's right here, though. I mean, we need generals on the field. We've not actually won yet. The Republicans do a good thing. We maybe win an election, then we go to bed.
There
But
is no winning. Like it's not like we're ever going to be in a position where it's like, oh, the left has been vanquished.
It's over.
We can always,
Yeah.
I mean, even the founders knew that. And whether you like Reagan or not, he said, look, we were only one generation away from losing liberty. The founders knew that the price of freedom is eternal vigilance. This is not something where we can just say, oh, we won and now it's done. It doesn't end. There is no. It's over. You're going to have to always be teaching your children and creating culture and doing all the things that we talk about. It's not, there's no stop.
generational mindset. Yeah.
Milo posted this sworn affidavit from Michael Bartels saying that Gavin blackmailed him to get the chat or whatever. And people are saying that's evidence, and Gavin hasn't issued a statement. So for those unfamiliar, Gavin Wax, he's been on the show before, and I think he works in the Trump administration, right? He is the COS Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs at the State Department.
I want to make another point here too, because I think this often gets lost in these conversations, which is that working with a person or group of people does not mean you endorse everything else they believe. It doesn't mean you endorse everything else they've said, and it doesn't mean you endorse everything else they've ever done. So this conflation will occur where it's like, well, Matt Walsh says the right should stick together, but there are some bad actors on the right. Okay, well, you can work with bad actors in certain circumstances if they share a positive goal, which is why people spent years talking about bipartisan efforts. Oh, well, even if Democrats are trying to do something good, I'm willing to work with them on that. People talk about Trump pushing for criminal justice reform in certain areas and how good it was that he was willing to work with the left, even though they're completely evil because one of their goals was good. And so my argument is, if the standard is that we should be willing to work with leftists who hate our way of life and want to destroy our country if we have a similar goal, how can you not say that we should work with some people on the right who we don't agree with on everything?
We wouldn't have NASA without that.
Yeah, Operation Paperclip.
It's just crazy that like after Charlie Kirk's assassination, this is still even a conversation because he understood this perfectly.
Agreed.
He worked with and never said a bad word about anybody he worked with, despite disagreements, despite being pushed behind the scenes and publicly to condemn so many people he worked with, including Tucker Carlson, most notably. And this is still even a conversation that we're having on the right.
Too many
I
people
agree
are
with you.
absolute cowards. They're afraid of what the left is going to say about them. And that's something that we need to become completely allergic to, right? I don't care what the left is going to call me. They've already called me everything that they can. And I know what kind of guy I am. I know the kind, I know that I'm not a hateful person. Like I'm not like these people have to get out of here, blah, blah, blah. Like I'm just not that guy.
Well, and I just want to mention, obviously this is something I would say as an evil right-winger, but I know everyone here, I don't know you as well, but everyone here, I know, none of you are secret haters behind the scenes saying these wild things, but I'll see the accusations that are lobbed at all of us for our political views, and it's complete and total nonsense. But ultimately, the thing that really has to be considered, going along with what Mary said about how insane it is that we're still having this conversation after they killed Charlie Kirk, is, of course, yes, yes, Charlie Kirk wouldn't condemn certain people on the right, but also this is past the point of them canceling us, right? Like, lives are at stake here. You don't throw people under the bus when there are lives at stake.
I got a tweet here from Matt Walsh, and I'm going to completely disagree with him. I'm sorry, guys. I can't side with Matt. Let me read this tweet for you, and just let me finish this, and I'll explain why just Matt's wrong. He says, one side of the aisle is responsible for the mass slaughter of 60 million babies. One side wants to castrate children. One side wants to destroy the family and the church. I just fundamentally reject any claim that there is any moral equivalence between the radicals on the right and those on the left. Get back to me when these right-wing radicals actively fund and facilitate the mass execution of babies, and then we can talk about moral equivalence. Yes, I will unite with anyone to oppose this force. No, stop. Matt is completely wrong, okay? It is not radicals on the left that abort babies, it's the moderates.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's not a joke. That's the truth.
No, you're completely correct. That's the only thing he's incorrect about there, and it's very technical.
He was also pointing out that this is personal to him because after Charlie Kirk died, and leftists were celebrating it, his name was probably the second most popular suggestion of who should be next.
Yep.
And when you add that level of gravity to it, you understand why he would respond this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, 100%. Like, well, people are out there literally calling for violence against him and his family, and no one on the left is decrying that. They're at the same time demanding that he decry bad statements from other people on the right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the goal is to make us quiet, is to make us silent. And I tell people, if you're afraid of, because they're afraid of losing something at this point, their lives. But if you're afraid of losing something that causes you to be quiet, you've already lost it because you've given it up.
Amen.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.